We have another client we look at inside the Tier 11 DataSuite, and we can see what's spending there, where Amazon sales, and we're seeing everything, how it all works together. And then you go back into the ad platform. You're like, all right, well, which ads are the ones that are getting the most engagement, that are driving conversions, maybe on Amazon, maybe on their site? All of it's working together. And then when we calculate the overall ENCAC, we see all the platforms reducing the overall ENCAC from, I believe it was 183 down to like 134 in the last 3 months. Everything's working together because we're not worried about what's Meta doing, what's Google doing. You haven't even looked at CPA.
I know.
Conversion. You haven't looked at anything, but you know just from that analysis like that. Now, all things being equal, there could be supply chain issues. There could be other things that we're not privy to on this call, but we're just saying, like,
this is agnostic.
Agnostically, like every business has its own individual story. The point is this, is that you can look at this and analyze it. You can say, this is what Meta Andromeda is really, really telling you. It's screaming at you.
Like, give a 70 and a 5 are
pause these ads is what it's saying.
Yeah.
But if any of those ads, especially in the Chameleon Coffee ones, have 0 conversions, back in the old days, we'd say, ooh, that's a bad ad. Let me shut that one off.
Right. And here's what's funny. Let's do this.
Have deleterious effects downstream, which I believe, in this particular case, this is a short window from first impression to actually conversion. It's under a week in most cases, as I recollect.
Yeah, I would say that it's definitely under a week. I would say if it takes you longer to buy a water bottle, you're probably in the minority, not the majority.
Right.
And if we look now at the results and then the cost per result, let's do this here. So we removed everything. We said, hey, we think Chameleon Coffee probably is doing the best. So if I just look at, now I have all of my columns back in here for cost per result. And if we look at Chameleon here as an example, I wish I could do the cost per result here. But I can't because we have too many different variations at this group level, which is
yeah.
We do some first click water bottles, some first click coffee and tumbler, which is completely fine. Coffee and
NC for each individual one, which is fine.
Yep.
And that's what you want to be doing.
Now here's where ad copy is going. This is where the CPA is going to completely screw you up, and this is where I love how we just looked at everything and said, you know what, we unanimously agree that Chameleon water bottles and Chameleon Coffee seems to be the best. And if I look over here and said, Ralph, I need you to tell me which one of these exact same ads is better. Okay. Is it 1.6 or 1.4? I mean, you're kind of splitting here. All right. No. Is it 19.1 or 19.0, Ralph?
Yeah, I did look
okay. Is it 18 or 18? Well, is it 14 or 15? They look about the same, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the variation is because I can't see the ad name. I shouldn't I have to assume in the nomenclature somewhere in there it is, or maybe it is.
It's the exact same ad in 2 different campaigns.
Oh, okay. That's the reason I got it.
But you see how they're basically both doing
incredibly consistent.
Yes, but you know what's not incredibly consistent? One got a $200 sale, one got 46. So wait a minute. If you have more people clicking first here and that one second, well, that ad that's the same exact ad with the same exact hook rate, click-through rate, impressions, and frequency, that one is, you know what, I think that's 3 times better.
Right.
Why? Well, I don't know. It said, and this is where CPA and engagement
4 times better, really.
Right. yeah, taking 2 and then turning to 2, 4, 6, 300%.
Right.
So is this ad 300% better than the same ad when you're comparing the same hook rates, the same impressions, the same reach, the same click-through rates, the same frequency? Oh, wait a minute. No, it's one ad simply did more remarketing because it had lower spend, and that had more last views before they bought, probably on the website and then later on Amazon. They probably walked into Costco. It doesn't matter. Right. Did more people buy the Chameleon? Period. Like that's all what we're trying to do here is Meta is going to play whack-a-mole with conversions. It's kind of like Oprah. Like in the crowd, people didn't do anything, but you get a conversion and you get I mean, it just kind of spreads it out over what was last viewed. It's
a lot of participation trophies. Yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah. Yeah. You're here and you have spend, so you win. Why? Because if we don't tell the media buyer that, they're going to take money away from us. So they just dump it.
Yeah.
So that's what's really interesting is you look at all the engagement metrics from the same ad and they are exact same, but one is 300% better performance. And that's where we chase our tail. If we play whack-a-mole or like exploding conversions where the fallout just lands everywhere, and then we are trying to chase where the fallout is landing, not where the explosion happened, we're going to chase our tail. We don't want to see where people land. We want to see where people are starting. Like that's kind of the methodology. So you do that in, well, what is ad spend? What is click-through rate? What is engagement? What is hook rate? When you layer in conversion and conversion value and ROAS and CPA on afterwards, you go, it doesn't make sense. It really, and especially if you check the top line and you see like the majority of our sales are coming from Chameleon water bottles and Chameleon food jars Chameleon water bottles and food jars and Chameleon coffees. If a high amount of concentration is being spent there and the high amount of concentration of sales are happening there, even though Meta can't see even things like Amazon or email or direct or organic and all of ways that, you know, we may be losing the conversions because of loss of cookies and consent mode.
Yep.
That doesn't matter. There's two truths. Well, it's actually one truth and a lie. I know I spent the money. I know that's solid. The money's gone. It's out of my bank account. Click-through rate, fairly static. The engagement rate, fairly static when we're looking at things like hook rate and hold rate and that kind of thing. All of those I know are extremely true. Then on the flip side, the conversions I know are extremely false. And if the extremely true side is showing some consistency and growth and performance, but what the conversions showed, if those are not aligned, which one do you believe? That's kind of the methodology. So we're looking at what is performing this week by taking, it took us 10 minutes, 15 minutes to go through this. And this is me teaching it. Took 10, 15 minutes to identify what is the best top performing ads. It would take you another 10 minutes to kind of hop in the back end and track a trend of the sales. Well, ad spend increased on Chameleon. Did revenue increase on Chameleon? If so, yes, that worked. I'll give you a really good example of this where we have another one. This is the tablet company. Mm-hmm. This company here, we did the feeder strategy for it, but in a much different sense than what we're looking at here, because this one's actually structured to grow each one of these categories independently, except for a small category, and you'll be able to see which one here as soon as we log in. I think it's actually a very, very, very interesting case study. So inside of here, we have ad spend that is dedicated to a particular type of category. Now, if we look inside the back end of the analytics and I go into the reports, you'll see that every day I check, not every day, I missed yesterday, but usually every day I check my report called John Moran Total Sales by Product. I just put my name up there because it's my custom report. Mm-hmm. What I look at here is, since starting all of these individual campaigns that all started on January 2nd, and every single one of these started on January 2nd, we can take a look and say, okay, since January 2nd to this time period, compared to the previous period, we look at the new customers, what has happened? Okay, so we can see all of our products and we can see, let's just do this. Let me get rid of gross sales. Let me get to number of net items sold. I just want to see new customers and product the products. So toilet bowl cleaner, 21 new customers up to 35. Excellent. Tile and floor, 19 up to 32. Good. Dishwasher detergents from 4 to 19. Good. Laundry detergent tablets. We're actually not doing that one. We're doing the dishwasher and we're actually doing a different laundry detergent, but it's actually going to be this one right here. That's going from 0 to 2. So we're going to ignore laundry. That was a different product. Got it. The dishwasher tablets, 17 to 17, fairly standard. Bamboo cleaning cloths, 4 up to 13. Foaming hand soap going down. Mm-hmm. The coconut scrubbing sponges going down. So you got bamboo cleaning cloths and coconut scrubbing sponges. So bamboo cleaning cloth and scrunches, those are going down. The bamboo cleaning cloth and scrubbing sponges are not a category we're pushing.
I was about to say, I love the hand soap with these guys, by the way. Right? My favorite.
Yeah, exactly. So we have a main campaign that has all of these 5 in one. So we have basically 5 independent and 1 that has 5. So basically these are the same campaigns. But what's interesting about this is also, since I started to increase the ad spend between these 2 time periods, which went from basically nothing to nothing. What's cool about this is with feeder strategy, yes, I know that my 2% in spend on my main campaign is still producing 56% more customers. Why? Well, I know I have ad spend here, and I know that I will have a last view here because this was the bigger campaign and for longer. But does that mean that these ads aren't working when this one just grows by 56%? No, especially when I can check in the back end and say, how's my toilet bowl tablets doing? Well, it went from 21 to 35. Well, how's my toilets here? This one is so funny because this one actually has not tracked a result at all. Went from $0 to $275. I didn't sell anybody according to Meta, but that is actually what is now went from 21 to 35. So do I shut off the CPA? Hell no, I'm doubling it. Or do I shut off that campaign because the CPA is gone? I basically went from 21 to 35 and it cost me, $275. Good.
And the icing on the cake here is that you're not even tracking Amazon sales.
I'm not tracking Amazon sales, but guess what?
Amazon sales are significant here.
Amazon sales are very significant. And that's also why I don't care. But you know what I am tracking? That this entire campaign has a 38% hook rate. That's important.
By the way,
it's better than cost per conversion. Good.
Yeah, that's tremendous. And hook rate over 25% is considered very good.
Yeah. That was the kind of the ad engagement metrics that we got from Andromeda, the Andromeda team. Basically, there's a wider range, but the ranges, you want to keep them obviously agnostic to industry. If I give away free gold bars, you're going to be above 90. Obviously that's going to be important. But if I say, hey, come, 20% off leg amputations, probably going to not do that great. So they're relative to the industry.
Right.
But when you're looking at the ranges, if it's below 15, that's like, okay, it's dead and gone. Like this, just pull the plug. It's on life support. The over 25 is thriving and flourishing. So those are the kind of the ranges. You can bounce around the 25, but if you're bouncing around 15, that's just too low. So 15 to go to 20, fine. 25 to go down to 20, watch it. It gets danger. That in between those 2 points is your danger zone.
Got it. Yeah.
So when you have a click the rate outbound of 1.5, and if we have our click the rate outbound, if we're just looking at that here, CTR, click the rate outbound, click the rate 1.5 is where we're going to try to get to. Right now we're at 2.57. So yeah, that 2.57 click the rate outbound right Checks there. Out. 1.5. We're almost 100% above that. Yeah. So our frequency is good. Hook rate's good. Click the rate is good. I deleted the conversion column because it doesn't mean anything because my conversion column is right here. And that tells me with real money in my bank account that I get to pull out that, yeah, I spent $275 and I made $350 more in the first kind of 2 weeks of doing this. And we're starting to see new customers increase by 80%. So do I listen to Meta? No, I really don't anymore. Meta is, in my opinion, a fantastic marketing channel. You know what it sucks at? Attribution.
That's today's bottom line sort of quote from John Moran. I just wonder on this one, knowing this one and knowing the other one, actually, because they both sell on Amazon. You're not even looking at Amazon here because you're looking at engagement rates within the platform itself, not even conversion. Then you're looking at the back end. We didn't even look at our first example in the Chameleon coffee cups. We don't have to do that. I think it's probably best that we don't.
I was going to say there's a lot of activity there. I wanted to
there's a lot of activity. We want to simplify this as much as possible. Also, we want to keep
very large company want to protect it.
Yes, absolutely. And but it's like once you actually have a way to track Amazon sales, Shopify, which is your source of truth, and all the platforms and what you're actually spending, it's nirvana. Mm-hmm. It really, really is. Like we have another client, which I don't think you've done a ton of work with. We have $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a month in programmatic spend. Mm-hmm. That's in addition to, and then we look at inside Tier 11 DataSuite, and we can see what's spending there, where Amazon sells it. They also sell on Amazon, and we're seeing everything, how it all kind of works together. And then you go back into the ad platform. You're like, all right, well, which ads are the ones that are getting the most engagement, that are driving conversions, maybe on Amazon, maybe on their site, but it's all of it's working together. And when we calculate the overall ENCAC, we see all the platforms reducing the overall ENCAC from, I believe it was 183 down to like 134 in the last 3 months. Yeah. Because everything's working together because we're not worried about what's Meta doing, what's Google doing. We're saying in this world that we live in, especially now, like you said, Meta is a great top of funnel awareness platform. It's a great advertising platform. It's not a great attribution platform.
It spawned an industry Wicked Reports is here because they failed. Why are the people who now work very closely and with Wicked Reports to make even that more accurate? Why would we look in the platform? That's an oxymoron.
I mean, why are we spending tens of thousands of dollars a month on all of that? Like, if I didn't have to give that money to them, I mean,
right?
Sort of secondary. So, we are shareholders there. But the point is this: is that if everything was perfect inside the platforms, we wouldn't be spending any money. Like, Northbeam wouldn't exist, Wicked Reports wouldn't exist. God knows,
Whale, Hyros,
Beach Trail wouldn't exist.
No.
I mean, the point is that. Yeah, to stay in the ocean. I mean, there's a demand for it because none of these platforms are giving you the proper data. Even with first-click CAPI imports and everything else that we've talked about here, to a certain degree, like, you still do need a secondary source of truth for sure.